I think that people, excuse me, I think that people need to be educated.
I knew you was gonna say that
because well, if you knew, why you didn't say it?
Because I was saying it in my head.
Yo, what's up? I am Omega, and this is Diverse Clarity. This is where we have those thought-provoking conversations about things that matter and some that don't. And to my immediate left, I got my man Kingsley, and across the couch, I got my man Mel. What's good, fellas?
Chilling, man.
How y'all doing?
chilling, man. What's today? Tuesday?
Is it? Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah, man.
Tuesday.
First time recording on a Tuesday.
Yeah, it is. Nah, we've done like a get ahead kind of night. Yeah. When we've like done multiple recordings in the week, you know.
Yeah, but I don't remember a Tuesday.
Well, dang. Okay, I don't know then. I don't know.
I think it was like a Wednesday or Thursday normally.
Probably Wednesday
Or a Monday. It's usually a Wednesday, Thursday, or
it wasn't
Monday
because you ain't free on Mondays.
No, I'm not free on Tuesdays.
Okay, then it wasn't a Tuesday then. Here we go. I told y'all. I'm trying to tell you it was never a Tuesday. You don't listen to me.
Tuesdays is never.
Golly.
It's always my longest day.
I'm trying to tell you.
I'm actually ready for a morning recording session.
Thursday.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it Thursday.
I'm talking before the sun. Well,
look
about 6.
Listen, Linda. Look, we can do it.
Yeah, about 6, 7.
I'll be up, but I don't know about 6. Though.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for 2 days. I'm ready for 2 days.
2 days.
Yeah.
What are you trying out for football?
No, I'm just.
That boy.
What? I've always had that mindset.
I'm with it. 2 days.
2 days.
I always had that mindset of treating it like a 2-a-day where we come in the morning, we shoot a couple shows, record a couple shows.
Did you say a couple shows?
Yeah, and then nap. Well, that's what 2 days was. You napped in the field house or whatever, and then
in the field house. Wait a minute.
I thought that's what they called
the field house.
Yeah, like the place where the offense and defense meet.
No,
go over
you
locker
room. We went home.
No, it was. No, we didn't go home. My 2 days was you sleeping in that field house or on the floor out in the field.
Field house.
I thought that's what they called it. Like where they have
Where
the
did you
rooms
play
to
football at? He played Barn University.
That's what it was called. Field house.
Did you play football?
Yeah, in high school.
Did you?
Yeah.
What position did you play?
He's a cornerback.
I went out for cornerback.
Okay.
But then
He looked like a cornerback.
But then I went out for running back.
Really?
Yeah.
You got running back? You made? You was running back?
Nah.
So you're a safety. You're a free safety.
No,
he's not tall enough.
Oh, I did go out for. I went out for free safety, not cornerback. I went out for free safety.
Oh, okay.
And then
They was like, no.
Yeah. Man, I don't know what the hell I was on.
So what did you play?
Running back. My senior year, running back.
You was starting?
I was a running back. No.
He was a running back. He was an option.
I was a running back. But yeah.
Did you get field time?
No.
Why you saying like that?
Wait, you didn't play?
Nah.
Huh?
I ain't
But
playing.
you weren't really a running back now.
No, I was running back. Well, I mean,
Like you played like practice.
You made them have to use more detergent on the jerseys.
During the summer, I was first team because the starter was messing up, and I was showing up all the time. So coach was like, "All right, well, Kingsley, you up in here first team." So I was doing first team everything.
And then what?
I knew that wasn't gonna last. Like, come on, man, this is inner city football.
So you never played football for high school?
That was high school.
No, I'm saying, did you play football?
No, just those 2 years.
Oh wow, 2 years.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Yeah, and then
Did you play?
I played in high school.
What position you play?
I played corner.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ran past you.
I redshirted. Nah, you wouldn't.
What you played?
I was wide receiver, cornerback, kick returner.
Yeah.
I defended the position that I mutilated.
Yeah.
And then I returned the kicks every time we scored. Not every time.
Yeah, that was it, man. That was nothing.
Okay.
My senior year and stuff like that. So
yeah, I redshirted in college.
really,
Yeah. Then I just like, I'm done.
yeah, I wonder why a lot of people don't pursue it going into college. Like a lot of
It depends on like
percentage.
university. It's a percentage, but also a lot of things change. Like when I got to college, it wasn't a like how the coaches were at the time. We didn't have really good coaches at the time. We had a few, you know what I'm saying, but overall, it wasn't a good look. And so it wasn't gonna go anywhere at that present moment. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and get the scholarship at the math and out the math department. And when I went over there, and they was like, "Yep," I was like, "Peace."
But what about you? Like, what did you coming out of high school?
Coming out of high school.
What you started? I'm assuming you started.
Oh, I definitely.
Okay,
did.
so what about
I played
post,
soccer.
what about post high school? Did you get any offers? Did you just be like, nah, this ain't for me?
Oh wow! In soccer, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, soccer. I was a striker. Lefty was the power. Right was the accurate.
So school gave you a better offer for soccer than
I wanted to be a firefighter. I didn't want to go. I was just talking earlier. I was delayed enlistment to be a firefighter in the Air Force. So my senior year was what they call delayed enlistment. So I basically like told the Air Force a year in advance, I'm coming as long as you give me a guaranteed job. And they were like, all right, take your test, the ASVAB or whatever. Took the test. Like, whatever you want, you can get it. Whatever job you qualify, right? Engineer, whatever. I was like, I want to be a firefighter. And they were like, really? Like, you could, I'm like, no, I want to be a firefighter. And they had spots available. And I remember I graduated high school on June 7th. And they had two slots available for a firefighter for me to be able to go in. One was on June 10, and the other was like October or something. I was like, June 10. That's it. And that's what I've been doing ever since. So, I mean, in addition to the music and the entertainment and stuff like that, that's, but I've been doing it parallel with that. So my second option was the music. Right. So I've been doing them, parallel to each other.
Right.
So yeah.
That's what's up.
But yeah. So here goes the next statement. Interracial relationships can be a fetish, but it's okay if it's also love. How y'all feel about that?
I don't know. I think it's just okay, period. It just depends on the person.
If it's a fetish?
Some people do have a fetish.
So
people
like
have feet fetish.
But if somebody is like black, y'all let's say it's whatever.
They like somebody else at a different race.
Let's say it's a white person and they got a fetish for Japanese women.
Okay.
Right? Or whatever. He's a Latino and he's got a fetish for French women.
Okay.
Right? So is it wrong if it's a fetish, but is it okay if it's actually love? Like is it bad to go for people for fetishes? Like when you hear people say, "Oh, I wanna have a baby with a black man because I want to see how the mixture gonna come out." Like I love this. Like is this wrong? Y'all think that?
Nah, I think wrong? that's it end up being somebody's preference. You know what I'm saying?
I was thinking that preference, but you're saying if they were saying, "I want this because of." Like I just want to have a.
I don't know. At the end of the day, that might be why they even like it or love that. You know what I'm saying? Like. Who's to say that's wrong?
Yeah, I think it would be more of a preference. Yeah,
fetish.
I mean, what?
It's all a fetish.
I think for me, I think it's fine. You go for what you like.
Yeah.
Right. You go for what you like. But I think probably the line there is when you've now objectified the person. Right.
So like what? Like
okay. Like. You have a person.
They're not a person no more. They like a thing.
Right. It's like, yo, I just love Korean women. Like, oh, you don't understand. Like it's this. And it goes to this thing where it's just a Korean woman instead of whatever her name. I don't want to make fun or I don't know what, I don't know what the name would be.
No, please don't do it.
You know what I'm saying?
No, do it.
Okay, we can say Japanese and then I can give you a name. So like we can say it's a Japanese woman and it's like Mayumi or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Right? So it's like, but she now loses her name. And it's just this Japanese woman. Like I think that it's bad when they've gone from being an actual person to like this object based on their race. Or their nationality.
That may be a form of love for that person, I guess. Like
that's probably how they perceive love.
A lot of people don't, really break that word down or know how to break that word down or know what it means and stuff like that. So maybe that's their form of love.
So how would you feel if you was just at the expo, right? So how would you feel if a woman walked up to you at the expo and was like, whatever, introduced herself and everything and said, listen, I've always wanted to be with a black man. What are you doing on Friday?
Come on.
That's why I didn't ask you. That's why I didn't ask you. Heather, come and get him.
You don't turn that down,
Can't
brother.
take you
Not even
nowhere.
your collar.
I always wanted to what?
A woman walks up to you at the expo and she says, "Hey, I've always wanted to be with a black man.
Can I close your shirt? What are you doing?
So
You ain't shit."
is it coming from a place of like she sexualizing me and stuff?
Well,
Yeah,
well,
that's
what does that sound like?
like,
What
that's
does
a
that sound
fetish.
like?
Like she have a black man fetish.
You're walking through the expo, you're eating your churros.
I mean,
and
when
you're seeing all the exhibits, getting your stamps.
No, I really don't care about the stamps. I just be out there getting that fresh air.
This dude.
But
know what I'm saying?
honestly, man, what I'm on right now, I wouldn't go for it.
You wouldn't go. What would you tell it? What would you
Yeah.
say? How would you?
I would like
how
to
would you
get
shut
to.
it
I
down?
really would like to get to know you because I'm really not on that right now. I'm
You're
really
not on what?
I'm just not on that. Like I'm really.
What are you not on?
Well, yeah,
She's
what-
trying to get on you.
I think
She's not
I would say she's trying to.
And,
You're not. That's what's
I mean,
up.
I'll be honest with y'all, man. I'm really not on that right now. So if she did that, I mean,
like,
I would be open to going out, getting to know her.
Okay, wait.
stuff like that, but not
I think your answer.
just fucking around.
I think your answer went that way though.
Yeah.
But what I'm asking
Yeah,
is
you asked me what would I do?
right. But you're talking about like somebody just approaching you because they like you. I think. What,
No,
what
I'm taking it as if she literally was like, "Yo, I've never been with a black man before. Let's
okay.
go." I'd be like, "Nah, can we get to know each other?" Because I'm not really on that right now. I'm just not. I'm just not. Okay, so let me focus on the topic.
Yeah.
How would it make me feel?
like a piece of meat.
sexualized,
It-
objectified.
I don't know. Honestly, Honestly, I wouldn't feel no way.
You won't feel no way.
I wouldn't feel no way. I would tell her what I just said I would tell you, and that's it. I wouldn't
way.
think about being sexualized and stuff like that.
That's what's up.
You know, that's
Guys
just,
usually don't though. Guys usually don't. We
want to be like me.
We either don't realize that the woman is flirting with us, or we just don't care. Like we're like, whatever.
We like it. It's an ego thing.
Don't put me in your categories.
No, I'm saying like if a woman comes up and say, Kingsley, I just love like your Haitian aura. Yeah, it's an ego thing. It's like they're stroking the ego, man.
It would be nice to hear that.
That's what I'm saying. It's an ego thing.
Yeah, it'd
Okay.
be nice to hear that.
All right, go. I'm here. I'm
It's not for you. It's not.
I think for me personally,
Yeah.
I don't remember too many times where a woman has just come up to me and was like, "Hey." So that alone would probably have had me, not now because I have a woman, but just saying, but like that alone would have probably had me like, "Hey, okay,
Right.
Like, wow," and then snap out of it and be like, "Listen, you Jezebel,
You floozy.
you old heathen, if you don't get out of here."
You gonna put the A on her chest, brother. Dang.
Scarlet letter.
Scarlet letter, right?
Wow. All right, yo, here's the next
We
one.
definitely would read, huh? I guess we read. I guess brothers read around here.
That was a good one.
Yeah, here's the next one. Here's the
Yeah.
next one. It's time to get over slavery.
Oh,
Somebody said it.
it's time to
Somebody
get over
said that?
slavery. Yeah, people say it all the time.
I told you last episode, I went through and I was finding different articles, different stories, different things where people were talking about controversial conversation that they've had and statements that people made. So that's where the list came from.
Nah.
Yeah.
big
It's
as
time
a-
to get over
As
slavery.
big as America is about history and history this and history that, nah, you don't get no race on that one. So it's nah.
Yeah, I think for erasing history, it's time to get over it. I think that's a tough one because we're still affected by it. You know what I'm saying? Just different things that that trauma that kind of matriculate through generations. Also, because of slavery, the way we were treated in different eras. From in every aspect, from jobs to housing to school, that all stem from what happened with us in slavery and how people have viewed us. And even now, you know what I'm saying, you still get some of that residue. I'm gonna leave it at that from stereotypes and things that has happened in that sense. And slavery is still going on in different countries.
Yeah. Who would fix their lips to even say that?
Yeah.
I mean, who would even fix their lips to even say that?
It's conversations that people are having, but I think it's a lot of it is based on the ignorance of. I agree with you. Like that would have been like when I first heard it, that was the first thing that I thought of was like, it's hard to get over something that still negatively impacts us today.
Yeah.
It's not about the act of slavery and how it occurred and when it occurred. It's the fact that everything or many things that were related to slavery and how that transcends time and still affects us in 2022. So I think that's what it is. It's the residue, it's the residual impact of slavery and the things associated with it and how they affect us today. So I think that's what it is. And I also believe that history and current education hasn't really given us a fair shake. You know, not to jump on a bandwagon or cliche comments about Black History Month being, you know, the shortest month and all this stuff. But the bottom line is, you mentioned education before, and it's like, we weren't even properly, in my humble opinion, educated about our Black history. And a lot of the things that we were educated about, the person that tells the story is, you know, like the victor is the one that gets to narrate history. And a lot of the stuff that we learned about was written by people who were not us. So the way that they constructed those stories and the way that they were taught to us in school, and even to this day, even to this day, the way that they're taught, you don't get the whole story. So I feel that, I think that's a big part of it too. So for a lot of people, they're just now learning about the impact of slavery, the true story about the impact of slavery. So when people say you need to get over it, I look at another piece and be like, we're just now figuring this out. So we got a whole lot, you know, it's like you're excited. It's like, you know, somebody knows about something and they've known about it for X amount of years or whatever, and you just learned and now you're excited about it. Right. So I feel like, so getting over slavery, that's an ugly statement, I think. Yeah. So, but I think the impact of slavery and everything associated with it, we're just getting started.
I don't think when they say get over slavery, it's not that we're not over slavery. We're just not over the impact from it. You know what I'm saying? That's a good response. Slavery is done. True. We're not as slaves anymore. But the impact that came from it, we still dealing with today. You know what I'm
still trying to figure out what would fix someone to say that. Seriously. Like,
ignorance.
Are we sitting at a table and I'm just constantly talking about slavery and make you say, oh man, get, you know, over it?
It's somebody's opinion. They just feel like when you think of some people just tired of our culture bringing that up. It's just like, just get over it. It's over with. It's done. You know what I'm saying? But they're not thinking what we're saying. Like, we're not saying slavery is, we still want reparation from slavery. We want reparation from the impact that slavery has had on our people all the way up until today. You know what I'm saying? From, you know, we've been going through police brutality since forever. You know what I'm saying? And we've been going through, been subjected to housing regulations since forever.
Redlining.
You know what I'm saying? With the redlining, like, there's things that we've been dealing with, or things that allow us to be substantially behind our counterparts because of laws and rules and regulations. And so that's what they don't see. They're just thinking that, oh, you're just complaining about slavery. No, we're not.
And the lack of education, but the lack of education is why they're saying that. Because the same way that we weren't properly educated, they're not properly educated about their history, their ancestors. So for them, it's like, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm on the side of, but like, to try to understand maybe what a white person in America is saying, right? And maybe they're feeling in a way like, well, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. You know, like, I had nothing to do with that. Like, you're my friend and I'm white and you're black. And like, why can't we just live in today? And their reality and their today, just because we're friends or just because we cool, it doesn't match up. It doesn't line up because we are affected by everything, because that impact is going through time. So I can understand why somebody might say that, but that will be because of their ignorance on the impact of slavery and all the things associated with it and the little bit that they know.
Right.
So
let me ask y'all, what's y'all response if it's a white person that says it and a black person who says
same
it?
thing.
Same thing.
Same
Ignorance.
Thing. Same thing.
It's
Same
pure
thing.
ignorance.
That's
You don't know.
Same thing.
Because if you knew, you wouldn't say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because even today, I mean, like, you think about it. Like,
Because go ahead. No. I was gonna say interject, but go ahead.
Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was gonna say because
I lost it now, brother.
my
Kings,
bad.
you got it. You got it.
You got the floor. Go ahead. You got the
floor. You know, I don't ever mean to cut y'all off. No, just saying, like, you know, there's some people in a particular political party that say stop hanging on to that, and you know, and they'll give an example of, well, I pulled myself up on my bootstraps and I did this and I did that. So that's why I was just asking, like,
Again,
what would be the
ignorance.
response be if it would be the
it's
same?
ignorance because it's just different. It's the same way that some people took offense to the statement that Kim Kardashian made about, like, y'all know what I'm talking about? No, I don't remember the exact. I don't remember the exact statement.
She makes so many statements.
Well, this one was okay. Maybe I'll try to look on the phone. It's hard to look and type at the same time. But Kim Kardashian had made a statement about being. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to put it on the screen. But like being lazy or something, like it was something related to people being lazy, and it's like, stop being lazy, just get up and like get your ass to work type of thing. Right. But like some people were looking at that like, man, now I got to look it up because I don't want to be wrong. But some people, I definitely don't want to misquote. Whatever. I'll let y'all talk and then I'll look it up. But like a lot of people were saying that because it was who was giving that message, right? And they're saying, well, like, yo, well, Kim, you came from this, whereas you can't talk to, you know, so and so from this particular environment and like look at it like they got the same opportunities that you had. You had way more opportunities. You may have earned money. I'm not taking nothing from Kim. She may have earned money on her own. She has turned whatever she is and how she is and who she is into $1 billion business. But she had help. She had people around her to guide her. Not everybody has these tools and resources. You see what I'm saying? So I think people took offense to this. I'm gonna find the statement. People took offense to the statement that she made because of who she is. Now, if that would have come from so-and-so from back home in the hood, you know what I mean? And we know that he really didn't have nothing and now he's a billionaire or even a multi-millionaire, right? And he's in Forbes and all this other stuff. People might be like, oh, dang, okay. Of all colors, they could have looked at him and been like, yo, okay, because we know he came from nothing, right? You know? So anyway, but yeah, how y'all feel about that? Does it matter about who the messenger is if the point is still one to be agreed on?
I don't know, man. When
Bill Cosby was about to say?
No, I was going to say, I didn't know how to address him prior to the presidency. I know senator, but do I still say President Obama or Senator Obama? But when President Obama started to run, what was most of the black people saying? He's not even black. They started questioning his blackness. So I know sometimes, man, we'll do that, man, and just, you know, depending on the messenger, we'll find sometimes or some of us will find a way to discredit it. Regardless, like, oh yeah, you on Forbes, but you grew up in the suburbs. You ain't grow up in the hood. You just had two parents. You ain't had one parent. You know, so I think sometimes we just kind of find a way to kind of sometimes, and some of us find a way to discredit, and some of us are like, yo, that's my motivation. I think certain people.
That's just life period, though. You know what I'm saying? People look at individuals and kind of see where they connect with. You know what I'm saying? And so if your situation is similar to theirs and they came out of it, it's like, bam, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? And so when people do that, they just don't see how they can connect with it. In some cases, they just hating shit.
Yeah, really
just stop the hate. You know what I'm saying?
They really hate,
like old folks like, stop the hating over there.
This quote that she said, it was directed to women, right? And what she said was, I have the best advice for women in business. Get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
Wow.
So Yeah.
I took that as she said business, and when she said work, I took it as working towards your business, working towards improving your business.
Right.
Was that?
Hey man, I don't keep up with the Kardashians, but I have no problem with what she said. I just think that there was a lot of backlash towards her because of
who she is, how she started out.
Because if anybody, if Regina King would have said that, nobody would have had an issue with it. In my personal opinion, I don't think. If Will Smith would have said it, nobody would have had a.
I don't know right now.
Nobody. Well, you either would have appreciated it or he would have put them hands on you. Ain't that right, Bad Boys 4?
Big Red. Right.
He no live here.
He no live here.
I don't know. I mean, why would they misinterpret? I don't know. I guess you got to just know. I guess you just gotta know about business and know like what she meant and just kind of interpret it on your own. I mean, I don't see how that.
They said that there was she retorted, like she came back and I guess she responded to the backlash. I don't know what that response is, but when I read this again, because I mean I heard it on whatever social news and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But when I read this again, like looking at it, I just feel like
it's perspective.
Maybe she's looking at like people, and I don't know. Maybe she already said this, but maybe she's looking at people thinking that things are just gonna come easy. Like people don't want to work. Like get up and work. Like it's not just going to come to you. You're not going to be able to TikTok your way into a fortune. Get up and do the work, because it was specifically towards women and about business. So it also seems like she was trying to motivate women. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like come on, ladies, get up off your ass. Let's do this. I don't know.
But I think maybe the backlash was the fact that maybe they feel like she got it easier and she really didn't work hard for.
That's what I was saying in the beginning because of who she is, like the history. But yeah. But that's why I said it's about the messenger instead of the actual message.
Let me ask this then: like, work is an opinionated thing, right? Like, if I go home right now, and I study for 3 hours,
right?
Whatever I'm studying.
Okay.
And you go home, you study for 1 hour. We both work. You probably found a smarter way to work. I better find a harder way, or vice versa. I found a smarter way, you found a harder way. I don't know, but can work be an opinionated thing? Like, do I think because you study one time you ain't work harder than me? Or
I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters like the time or the hours. I think it matters that you put in the work in order to move towards the thing that you want. Because an hour is still an hour closer to being perfecting your craft, your skill, or whatever it is that you're going after.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, because they're probably judging what she did. Maybe it was work for her. Maybe she really did. I don't know. Maybe she really had to do some kind of work.
I see it. I mean,
face. She already.
I know what he was about to say. I was waiting.
I'm saying, like, the fact that she may have been in this family, pampered, whatever. So I'm just saying, like, maybe people are looking at it like, well, she didn't have to really do much work. But I'm saying, like, can work be an opinionated thing? For her, it probably was. I don't know what the hell she did to get where she at, but maybe she did a little bit more than she would. And that was her work.
But work is work.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, people would sit there and be like, well, she ain't work as hard. She made her millions easy.
You know what I think?
But that's what I'm saying.
When you asked that, it came to me as like, work is only going to be measured by the success. It really doesn't matter. If you study for 1,000 hours a week, I know that's impossible. Okay, right? But if you study 1,000 hours a week, yet you've not made any progress, nobody cares about your 1,000 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, and those on the outside are gonna be like, work harder. Do you get what I mean? Like, work is only, huh?
I said, wow.
But you know what I mean? But like, work is only measured by the progress or the success. Because otherwise, you're not gonna. Where? How is somebody going to know?
How do you measure that work?
How do you quantify? You know what I'm saying? Even if we study the same amount of time, if we work the same amount of time, we both do 40 hours a week or 50 hours a week in the job that we're doing or the craft that we're studying. Mm-hmm. If you have more success or progress, and you've been studying, you've been applying yourself, then now you're able to quantify. Hey, I work for 50 hours. I studied for 10. I work for 40. I did this. And now we're looking at where you've progressed to. Whereas I'm doing the same thing that you did, but I'm not there yet, you know? And I mean, we could even equate that to somebody going to college, right? Going to university. You studied, you had the same major. Hell, you had the same minor. You went to the same school. You had the same professors, but you're jobless. He's working in a Fortune 500 company. How do we measure your work ethic? You know what I'm saying? So like, so how was that done?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying. Like, people are looking at her like, oh, you probably didn't work as hard. But I'm saying for her, it probably was hard work. I like what you said about work is measured on the
progress and
the success. So, I mean, I was just chiming in on that. Like, can can people just sit there and be like, oh yeah, you didn't work as hard. That's, you made your millions because you really didn't do much. So that's what I was just saying like that. So,
no, that's a good question. I like that. You've come at it twice now. I like that question.
But based on what you just said, I'm like, well, then we got to tap into fate, destiny. There's a whole bunch of avenues I can go with it. Or it's just like, okay, I'm chilling. I ain't about to study 5 hours. I'm still going to pass that test tomorrow. I'm still going to be the hot shot doctor. Joe Blow studying for 10 hours may not be his call. May not be his destiny. So many factors, man. You know what I'm saying? So many avenues that, you know what I'm saying? It may not even be work. It may just be, you just got it, or legacy or destiny or fate or whatever. So it's just a lot of avenues to go other than just
it could be environment. It could be just IQ, you know what I'm saying? Like how you process, how you learn.
It's also the measurement too, because like, how do we measure success?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because somebody could say, oh, you still working in fire, and you only doing podcasts now. Like, you could do better. You could do more. Maybe I'm content. Maybe I'm happy in what I'm doing. Yeah. Maybe I'm successful in my mind. I have food. I have water. Yeah. Bills are paid. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to kick it with my boys, have coffee, have lunch, have conversation.
Popcorn,
chill.
don't forget popcorn.
Not that microwave stuff. We do it on the stove. Yeah. So, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm able to do these things. So that is what I consider success. Just because you think I need to have, a mansion and a vacation home in Costa Rica or whatever, and I need to go on vacations 3 times a year, that's what you think success is. But that doesn't match for me. So we also have that measurement too. I said progress and success, but how are we measuring that? What is that? So but
it's all about what you want.
That's exactly what's up, man.
So I like that. I appreciate that. Next. All right. Boom.
I remember where that came from.
What?
Was it like a living color?
Yeah, living color. Okay. Yeah. All right. White privilege is a real thing.
Ooh.
100%. 100%.
Moving on to the next question or a statement. Yo, I don't even.
Netflix has a show about a woman who defrauded hotels and a bunch of people, and even that that was 100% white privilege. Literally,
hotels. Are you talking? Wait,
Anna. Maybe it wasn't hotels or something.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. Creating Anna. Yeah, it's done by What's the sister name that does Grey's Anatomy, the Scandal?
Shonda Rhimes.
Shonda Rhimes. It's a Shonda Rhimes TV show.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it's like creating
Anna.
Inventing Anna. Inventing Anna.
I didn't
like
watch it.
Yeah, I mean, that was 100% pure white privilege.
But that's
the Dropout. The Dropout is also an example of that. In that space, the Dropout, the lady that worked for the girl, she worked for the company Theranos, and it was like where they do the the blood, you know what I'm talking about? No, okay, I didn't want to keep going, but
she robbed them without a gun, man.
Right? Go ahead. So like she wanted to create a way that, because she had like this thing about needles, and this is real life,
right?
But she wanted to create a way where people could take blood without having to like draw vials of blood. And so basically she made this machine, right, where they could like prick your finger, and then this finger, and then she wanted to make a patch where it could go on you and like it could read. That didn't work out. That was the first idea she had,
sure
right?
About that one.
No, that was the first idea that she had. She wanted to put a patch on you, and then it would like monitor your blood for, problems or whatever, and then administer medication through the patch. And I guess that idea when she went to that lady that she went to at the, for the whatever, that business lady, I forget. Yeah.
So funding.
Well, it wasn't, I don't know if she wanted her to fund it, but anyway, that was an idea that she had, and it didn't work out. So then she came with this machine, and she had her whole team together, and she had an investor. She had one of the professors that invested. He got the board. They got other government people involved, and it kept growing and growing and growing and growing. And I haven't finished it yet, but the real story is that, and I think she served time in jail.
Yeah.
Why?
Like she went to prison because it was fraud. Yeah. Like it never worked, bruh. It's the dropout. It's on the thing that we gave you the other day.
Okay.
It's on there. The dropout.
Yeah, I mean,
Dropout.
it's a real thing, and
it's true, based on true story.
Oh wow.
I will say this, and I probably could be wrong, but I feel like a lot of them are realizing that they have this privilege too.
Right.
And
Like some of crying.
Are some of them really calling it out? I don't know, but I don't know. Can the crying be considered privilege? I guess
the crying. What do you mean, like Karens? Oh, I'm wrong. I'm about to get canceled.
No, I'm not. You know me. I don't know anything about that. But
the Karens.
No, he said crying. Like when they cry, and I actually got a song on the next album about that. When they cry and stuff.
Snap! Shout out, Producer Kings.
I'm trying to get the mastering down, but no, like with the crying, would that still be considered the form of them flexing their privilege?
What do you mean the crying? Like when they get pulled over by the police and
that or any situation.
The Karens.
Some of them are just not caring.
I have no problem with you saying Karen. I just said okay. Like,
I'm just saying, like it is what it is.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Cause I didn't know Karen's was just crying. It's just complaining.
Right, but I'm just saying. But like, if a woman were to do that, if she were to cry in a certain scenario, right, to get her way to like whatever, change the narrative, right,
to become the victim.
Crying might be a tool that she pulls out of her
privilege bag.
There you go.
Yeah,
her privilege bag. I like that.
It's a big bag to carry.
Hey, Jimmy, get my privilege bag. I'm on my way into the grocery store.
I'm about to go out here to this. I'm about to go to Sonic to get me one of these burgers. You know, they got them big old burgers.
But people are catching on to it, right?
But it ain't catching on. People already know.
There's videos of.
Oh, you mean them? Yeah, you mean people people who have white privilege are starting.
Like there's
people
videos
are addressing that.
Yeah, there are people. There are videos of cops being like, no, that ain't gonna work. All right, hey, you shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have done that. Or, stuff like that.
I need to follow who you follow because I ain't seeing none of this in my feed.
I've seen a couple of it.
I ain't seeing a couple. Okay,
I've seen a couple of it.
I haven't seen none of this.
I think along with people noticing it and stuff like that, and them noticing it, other people like are starting to notice it too. Okay, you just calling the cops because this guy didn't do anything. Why are you calling us for?
Right.
I think white privilege is a thing for many, many reasons, even without trying. I don't even want to make it seem like white people are like, going out of their way to try to make things difficult or, whatever, or push us back a couple of steps or whatever. I'm not saying that, but I think that it's even in a space where they may not even realize it because it's just a normal part of whatever. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure that there are things about you when it comes to music production where somebody will probably like lean in on you and like look and see and listen to what you're doing and be in awe. But for you, you're like, I've been doing this. I do this. You know what I mean? Like, as normal as anything is that any of us do, I think it could be like that also with white people and white privilege. Nobody's ever really thinking about that themselves, I don't think a white person walks around and thinks like on, a scale of, white to black. Like, oh, you know what? If I went to this particular place and I did this and I asked for this, if I was black, I tell you, it would probably end up this way. I don't think anybody's thinking like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not faced with the adversity. You only usually think about the adversity when you're constantly faced with the adversity and wish that you didn't have to. I wish I could get pulled over by the police for a traffic infraction and not have the fear of I might not make it home.
Right.
The average person that don't look like me, don't look like you or you, ain't thinking like that because they've never been faced with that. Right. You know what I'm saying? primary point. Like when they like yelling at the police and I'll have your badge and I'll do that. No. That's not the way we was taught. Keep your hands where you can see them. You know what I'm saying? And like speak clearly,
That's
calmly.
The impact from slavery.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yes, I agree. But you know what I'm saying? So like I don't know. So I think in some instances, yes, there are people who realize their privilege and they utilize that, like you said, the crime. They utilize that resource to get what it is that they want or get through whatever it is that they have been faced with. But I also think there are elements of white privilege where people just don't even realize it because
They're
it's
never
just
been
normal.
faced with it. It's normal.
It's just normal. Like some people would never think about or wonder what it feels like or know what it feels like to walk into the room and feel like the odd man out or the odd woman out because you're accepted because of how you look. We have to go in sometimes and go the extra mile. And what's it called when we change up?
Code switch.
You know what I'm saying? Like we have to do that. Like I don't know.
See, I'm glad you brought that point up because I never looked at privilege like that. I always thought privilege was like I'm going to do this thing to get what I want, and not face repercussions or not face repercussions. Period for my behavior and stuff like that. So
think about it like this. Applying for a job. I've heard people say, for example, I named my child X because I didn't want them to be overlooked when they submitted their resume for a job.
They didn't want them to identify them as being black before they even
or have any type of ethnic background.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's sad that somebody has to think that way in this world.
Right.
Yeah.
But a white person probably has never. I'm not gonna say has never. Let me stop. I think it would be highly unlikely that a white person would have to think that way.
Right.
This is how I'm going to label. This is how I'm going to, name my child or whatever, right? So that I can help them get a job in the future.
That's a form of privilege.
Yeah, definitely a form of privilege.
Yeah, because I was, like I just said, I always thought it was just like I'm going to do this to get my way and stuff.
But it's normal life.
I get you.
If you name your child Richard or Ben or Kobe or whatever, you're not thinking like, I'm naming my child this because I want to make it easy for them when it's time for them to apply for work in 19 years.
Right.
You're not thinking that.
Right.
But we are. It starts from that, Yeah. So that is a form of white privilege.
Okay.
So sometimes I believe that white privilege isn't even realized. I don't know. That's
how you nip it in the bud?
Man, education and time. Everybody got to die. We just got to start over where everybody is. I don't know, bro. Like I don't even think that somebody. I was asked before. Somebody said,
don't respond to it, right?
Huh?
Like if I'm white and I come to your hotel and I'm like I start complaining or whatever, just as the hotel manager, just don't respond to it. Your privilege won't suffice here. Your privilege won't work here.
I guess
that would be one way to nip it in the bud.
I think it's more than that though, because like you got to remember, you mentioned specifically an establishment, right? Well, what runs that establishment? Money. And who may be the larger clientele for that particular establishment.
Yeah.
And we don't want to mess up that money, do we?
Yeah.
So when that person that does come in and makes that complaint, it's like, oh, we gotta do something because we don't want them to not come here and we don't want them to tell their friends because that's going to impact our income.
Right.
So I don't think it's as easy as that when you mention a business. Go ahead.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know my mind all over the place.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
As Americans here, do we feel like we have American privilege? Do we flex that American privilege sometime as expats here? And I mean, I don't know. We've all had racist issues out here and stuff like that, but negating that as Americans overseas, where it's like, I'm gonna make sure I talk loud so you can hear this American accent and you don't think I'm from another country. Do we flex that? Do we flex our American privilege? I know the whole topic is about white privilege, but let's talk about privilege. And do we flex that as expats here?
Do you? I do.
For me, I think the example I gave, I would do it for the example I gave. I don't know why I don't want them to think I'm from.
I don't care where they think I'm from, but I definitely, when I think of American privilege, I think of like when you hear the American accent, the service is a little extra. And so I I think it naturally just, when I speak, it comes. And so sometimes I don't speak. I just listen and just like,
Yeah.
or say short or very little words and see how it goes. It just kind of depends on my mood. Like it doesn't be like, okay, we got to use that American accent so we can get in there. Like, no, I don't do that.
Hey guys, you got your American accents ready?
No,
Let's go.
we just be ourselves. I just be a silly,
That's
but
what's
we
up.
definitely just be ourselves. And so, it comes with the territory. People see like, oh, you're American, and then they give you like extra service, and a little extra that comes with it. But I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everybody's experience is different here.
Yeah. Just a question I thought about.
No, me.
Yeah.
I think it's inadvertent. I think it's the same way that I was just explaining about white privilege when they don't try. I personally don't think that we being Americans have a privilege here, but I think that other people perceive us as having a privilege because you hear people say things like, "Oh, you got that American passport." You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of a thing. It's like, yeah, I happen to pop out of a vagina in the USA. What's it to you? And they're like, no, you don't understand.
Oh, it's a difference.
There is a difference. But what I'm saying is it's not me crying tears to try to get my way.
Right.
It's something where it's what it is. And I didn't create that.
Right. I don't have to change. I can't change that.
A white woman in Atlanta, Georgia didn't create the laws. She just happened to be white. And she may just happen to benefit from being white in the area where she lives. Right. We just happen to be American, being where we are, happen to have that passport, and they happen to have a certain outlook on that passport. You see what I'm saying? Right. So that's why I say before, I think that all white privilege isn't necessarily what's the word, like a negative word I'm looking for here, done in a malicious way.
Right.
I don't think that all white privilege is malicious. I think some of it is just happens to be based on the environment that they're in. Mm-hmm. Because guess what? There are some white people that could go to places like Hawaii and all that stuff is reversed. They're howlies out there. And the locals ain't really fond of white people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you happen to be Filipino or black or Mexican or any other Latino or Latina, and you go out there, it was like, because you look like us.
Right.
So it's a little bit different.
Say what?
It's a, but you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit different. Like, I lived out there for 6 years. I've seen white people get kicked off the beach.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? By locals, like, hey, Howley, you gotta go. You gotta go, butter.
I learned about the history of Hawaii over the summer.
It's not, yeah. So I'm not saying that all of Hawaii is racist, but racism is everywhere. Right. But I have witnessed racism in Hawaii the same way that I've witnessed it in other countries as well as my own, right? And, so it just happens to be where you are and what you are, right? Where your privilege may shine through.
Got you.
So, yeah. So, no, I mean, but yeah, I hear that out here all the time. And I don't know.
That was good. That was good. That was a good segment right there.
Yeah. All right, let's see the next one. The statement is, sometimes I feel like I betray my own race.
Oh, never.
Sometimes I feel like I betray my own race. People said this. Well, who said it? Was it a black person or was it another person?
Don't matter.
I know these shows usually definitely have.
This was a question that was asked to, or a statement that was said to people. And there were people of various races that responded.
Betray my own race. How do you even do that? Betray my own race.
Don't give me the line. I don't know.
Betray my own race.
You don't live up to the stereotypes.
I think it's perception, right? Some people might feel like if they didn't go out and march with Black Lives Matter, that they betrayed their own race. And if they happen to be black,
feel like that.
But it's perception.
It's a perception,
right?
Oh, they need to stop.
But it's perception, maybe. Some people might feel like they're in a loving relationship, but it happens to be a white woman or a woman that's not of their race, and they may feel like, oh, I betrayed my race. Like, damn, man, I messed up. Like, I fell in love with, this white girl. I fell in love, with. Some people feel this way.
Wow.
Or some people will say, I'm not going to marry outside of my race because I don't want to betray my race. You know, like this kind of way. So it depends.
I mean, that first part. I mean, that's something he or she got to work on. Like you feeling like you betrayed your race. I don't know. I can't process that in my head for some reason. I can't process that in my head. That's why I'm just like, who would even say that?
Was it Clarence Thomas that people used to say
from the court?
Yeah.
With Anita Hill, this Clarence Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're talking about. The
Yeah.
Supreme Court, right?
Yeah. I guess when they call people like Uncle Toms and stuff like that, they betray.
Okay.
Betray their race.
Well, you gotta say it like that. Betray or betray. Like that now.
No, because
like I was speaking another language.
No, because from your example, it's like self. Like, damn, I betrayed my own race. From your example, it's like other people outside. Like, yo, man, you Uncle Tom, you betrayed the race.
But that's what it's same. No, it's not.
No, that's coming from inside. Like, if I date a white woman, I'm like, man, I betrayed my race. Oh man.
Wait.
Oh my God, I can't live. That's what I got from you. Oh my God, I can't live with myself. Oh, I betrayed the race. You is like, bruh, wait, how is that not different?
Wait, all I heard that was different was you put a accent on the E. I said betray my own race, and then when he was like, oh, betray.
No,
like
his example. I'm saying his example. Did it come from other people outside saying he betrayed the race?
Yeah.
Your example was I'm feeling like I betrayed my race. It's two different things.
Well, what I said was what I asked. Sometimes I feel. Let me read it.
Okay.
I don't want no sound bites being taken. The statement was. I don't want no sound bites. The statement was. Sometimes I feel like I betray my own race.
All right, for that.
So it wasn't.
I can't fathom that.
Okay, it wasn't. Hey, I don't feel that I do. And if anybody of my race feels like I've ever betrayed my race, come holler at me. Let's have a conversation.
You know you won't respond like that. You be like, well, F you. That's how you respond.
See, this tells me that you don't know me like that. Because I'm telling you, like that's not I'm always down to have a conversation. I'm not. You think I'm really about to go out there and just because I'm not afraid of conflict don't mean I go out there and like pursue it all the time. Please don't get it twisted. So no, I'm down for having a conversation. I'm down for talking to people. But like what I told y'all, even when I first met y'all, the one thing that I hate, and I don't use the word hate, the one thing that I hate is being misunderstood. If you feel or you think or you're curious about something related to me, come and ask me because can't nobody answer that shit like me.
Right.
Now, if you want to go out there and you want to talk about me and then I hear about it, now I'm going to show you that I'm not afraid of conflict and I might come see about you. But if you got a question about me, come and talk to me.
Always fighting.
But you know what I'm saying though? Like,
Can't take him nowhere. He always fight.
Okay, gas station.
So wait, you're saying that in reference to someone thinking that you're betrayed the race?
But I mean, you got to. Who would you consider
that?
betraying? Betrayal.
But
betrayal could be like selling
me,
your race out, denouncing something that your race do. Like it depends on what you consider betrayal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Some people feel like
it could be little stuff. Somebody might be like, I don't support Black Lives Matter or Colin Kaepernick. You're betraying your race.
Yeah.
But it just depends on who you're talking to. So that's why it was a statement, and it was,
right.
All right, next question.
Blue Lives Matter or something like that.
Oh, that went out the window January 6th.
Look, next question or next statement. I could date any race, but I'll only marry my own.
I thought we had this conversation before.
Nah, we talked about preferences. This guy.
No, I thought we talked about that. No? Okay.
I can date any race as long as I marry.
I can. It says,
but
I could date any race.
We talked about this
because he talked about preferences, but we didn't talk about this as a us type of thing. It was talking about preferences. Yes.
I can date anybody outside the race, but I'm gonna marry my own. I mean, a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah, but how you gonna get to know the person you marry without dating them, right? So I'm just gonna date. I'm gonna date outside my race. At some point, I'm gonna meet who I want to marry within my race, I have to date them and know them and get to know them. So there's going to be a point where you end up dating.
No, that's not what
that's not what it's saying.
No. So what the statement is basically saying is this. Let's say I'm a single man.
Mm-hmm.
I'll date anybody. Japanese, Korean, Indonesian, Vietnamese.
But I will only marry.
But when it's time for me to marry, she got to be black. That's what it's saying.
That's a game to me. Playing games, man. Just if I'm at a point now. Just fuck with who you gonna marry. That's where I'm at.
Okay, I think maybe it goes this way. Could you marry someone that wasn't black or Haitian?
Could I marry someone who wasn't black or Haitian?
Right.
Nah.
So bam.
There
Could
you
you
go.
date somebody that's not black or Haitian?
Of course he can. Hello, KFC.
But we weren't dating.
No, but you would have.
Would you date?
You would've.
outside your race?
You would have, but based on what you said,
Outside your race, outside your culture, would you date other people?
I don't know if I could.
So now does it sound familiar where we did have this conversation, but it was only about him and preferences, and
Right.
we was like, you gonna find it's gonna come in a package that you didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm open to meeting different people, getting to know different people.
Some people say it.
And
I remember old folks used to say
from
that.
there, let the chips fall where they may.
So you could marry. You could marry outside of your race.
No, I don't know, man.
So the chips ain't gonna fall where they may. They gonna
honestly-
fall where the hell you sit them down at. You like,
Honestly, I don't know, man. I don't see myself marrying outside my race. I really don't.
that's okay.
That's okay.
A
That's
preference
not
is a
wrong.
preference.
All right,
A preference is a preference.
right.
But you would date
That's fine.
anybody.
That goes back to what I was saying. I'm open to getting to know, you know, and I don't want to, be like that. So
Yeah.
that one's a tricky one for me to answer because too many variables in play to kind of consider a factor. But I don't know. I just don't.
Okay.
See, I mean, rest in peace, Ma. I ain't got no mom to be like, hell no, you ain't marrying that, you know. So,
Okay. Two more.
hell no, y'all better answer that question. Shit, y'all ain't gonna sit here and put that question
What
on
you
me. No, answer that shit.
We already answered, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay.
We already. Did we
Feel like
not
I just-
answer? Did we not
I
answer?
don't feel like I
I'll be-
answered that. It felt like I was on the spotlight on that shit. Shout out episode
Kings.
whatever episode that was. What number?
Kings is taking the floor. All right, Mel.
What? Shit, I'm married. What you talking about? You're not gonna throw that question on me. You better just moving right along.
Moving right along.
Next.
Then. Y'all ain't gonna answer it. Y'all ain't
God.
When I was single, did I date outside my race? I wasn't in an environment where I had a lot of options. So I always been in an environment where it was predominantly, all of it, 80, 90% was black. So I dated mostly black women. I mean, pretty much that's it. So
Got you.
if I was in a different environment, I mean, I'm more than likely, yeah. I mean, I think women are beautiful from everywhere. And, I would try, I would date quite a few with different colors, different whatever, different races. It don't make a difference to me. Would I marry only black? I come from a household where growing up, if she didn't use your comb, you don't bring her home. Like, that was like the thing. What? It was the truth. You know what I'm saying? And so, but I never moved that way. I moved the way I wanted to move. And so if it happened, wherever the chips laid and I fell in love with whomever, it's just what it would have been. But, just it so happened to be with my black queen.
Got you.
Sugar baby.
I've lived in 9 countries. I have visited 58. I've dated outside of my race.
Environment.
Unlike you, I've been in situations where there were not a lot of black people around, and that didn't stop me from getting to know people. Now, when I say dated, I just don't want to get that confused with relationships. Going out for coffee, going out for a lunch, going out for dinner, maybe even a few times.
Right.
Dating, relationships, different. Marriage, I can't say what I wouldn't do, but what I do know is I am in a relationship and I am happy in my relationship, and I don't see myself being in any other relationship. So, but we can never say what we,
Right.
wouldn't do. But yeah.
I like the you brought up a good point that I've been kind of asking myself these last 2 weeks, and I don't think a lot of people know the difference between dating and
Relationships.
yeah. Because see, when you said dating, I'm thinking, oh, okay, being in a relationship with. But you just brought up a good point. Like, well, dated as far as like, hey, we just gonna go get a coffee.
Well,
Just
those
gonna
people
this,
that don't know what that is, I think that they have a strong issue with the English language. Because if I said, not you,
No, I'm saying some people.
not
go
you,
ahead.
but if I said I'm going on a date with a young lady, that doesn't mean that she and I are in a relationship.
Man, people think, but
Well, then they need to get on Merriam-Webster.
Some people
And they need to see
By definition.
or Oxford or whatever. But I'm just saying,
Yeah,
if
some
I
people really don't know that.
But I mean, but
Yeah.
for clarity, if I said that I was going on a date or I had a date or I'm currently dating, these are all acts of spending time with a person for a specific amount of time that would come to an end, and based on the end result, we may pick up and do it again.
Right.
And I just came up with that
like
off the
you
top of
think
my
about
head.
marriage.
That was good.
So,
That was good.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A relationship means I am now committed to
This one.
getting to know this person, spending time with this person and only this person, and we will have a whole bunch of dates
Yes.
while we are in this committed
Right.
entanglement. Okay?
It's not entanglement,
It
Will.
is an entanglement.
No, Will.
It's an entanglement. So, but you know what I mean? So, like, I really don't see how somebody can get that
People-
confused. They
I
just
know.
being lazy.
He's not. What he's saying is in real time, people take dating as they're in a relationship, and because they take it as they're in a relationship,
Look.
it's not saying it's right. It's not
Pete.
right.
You from Florida, right?
Yeah.
I'm from Georgia. And I know that in the South, maybe up north, with y'all folks too, but I know in the South, they'll say, forget dating. They'll
Courting.
be like, hey, who you talking to? So now we got it down to conversation. You see what I'm saying? You ain't never heard that?
I've heard
Yeah.
the talk. I've heard
Oh,
the
okay.
talk
But like, who you
But
talking?
then
Like, who you talking? Oh, you talking to her?
people think that's a relationship.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So if we're talking about people getting confused with dating and relationship, goddamn, they talking about talking is, we don't even know what talking is. Talking is the same thing. Is it a relationship? So they've got the words mixed up. Like I said, they got a problem with the English language. They're letting slang get in and mess up what words actually mean. You get what I mean? Because, oh, you talking to her? Doesn't that mean a conversation? I use that too, but I
Right.
also know that it's slang. And I also know the goddamn difference. You feel me? So slang, talking, dating, relationship. There is a huge difference between these three if you look in the dictionary. But slang has got it mixed up, and laziness and understanding the language has got it mixed up. Sorry, it's true. It is what it is. So they need to work on themselves. You know? So yeah. Look, he deep in thought.
He deep in thought.
All right, last one. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Oh wait, what did I?
The last one's about dating.
No, I still
Relationship? No.
Okay, here we go. There is no such thing
As the boogeyman.
as reverse racism.
Reverse racism. Meaning a black person being racist? Or me being racist against my own? What?
I wouldn't say just a black person, but I would say the oppressed being racist. There is no such thing as reverse racism, because generally speaking, racism, just by going by what they said, not saying that I agree with this or disagree, but racism is generally someone in a position of authority or power that is able to inflict their power or authority on another human being based on their race and their opinion of their race. Huh?
I said that one time. That's when we had this discussion. But okay. Yeah.
About reverse racism? Nah.
No, when I was like, racism is like, I look at it as a form of power, like being able to be in a position of power and
yeah, but that's
stuff like that.
But that's not what this is asking though. But this is the statement for this is there is no such thing as reverse racism.
I was going off the definition of racism.
Oh yeah. But I'm saying, but with that, and then if it's reversed, then it has to come from somebody who would be in that oppressed position. So it's most likely going to be a person of color or a minority that is in an area where they exist and there is a majority, and it's probably the oppressor, the one that is normally known as the one that delivers the racism or has handcrafted the government to fit the racist ideas or whatever, right? So there is no such thing as reverse racism.
So let me get this straight. The oppressed being racist against the oppressor. That's
yes.
Okay.
Right. So if a white dude called you racist because you called him a name,
that's racist.
But is it reverse racism?
Based on the definition,
It's just racism.
How you reverse racism?
Because you're taking the normal position of power and you're swapping it with the that's generally what they mean by reverse racism.
But I think
so they're talking about a black person being racist towards a white person, for example, and they be like, "Oh, that's reverse racism." Oh, you can't play on our basketball. We playing pickup basketball, and you know what I'm saying? It's 11 guys out there, and the white guy don't get picked. Oh, it's reverse racism. This kind of thing.
No, I mean, based on the definition that you just gave about racism, I don't know. I don't think so, because a position of power, I can't give you a job. I mean, I'm the oppressed. So unless I have my own business, maybe I can just be like, okay, well, I'm not gonna hire white people. Then that would be a form of racism if I'm black. So I think I don't know. I don't know. It's according to your definition.
Ain't my definition.
According to the definition that you gave. Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, I don't think so, unless I'm in a position to actually hire and to actually have that power and be like, hey, you know, hey, I need 50 people to fill this spot. None of them better be named, you know, Bob, Billy, blah 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 blah. You know, so I guess it depends on your position. But if you're the oppressed, you don't have a position, I guess. I don't know. Because, I mean, if I'm picking someone on a basketball court, that's not the definition of racism. I mean, I may be prejudiced, and I think that's what y'all corrected me on last time.
The only reason that I said that is because I've actually heard somebody say that. But, oh, that's racist. You didn't pick me because I'm white. And it's like...
That goes back to what we just said.
But they may see it as reverse racism. Remember, we're not going to be the ones to call it and say reverse racism because we wouldn't do that. It would have to be somebody that sees it as that, and their interpretation of what you did or didn't do, they might be like, oh, that's reverse racism. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that can be an opportunity to teach. That can be an opportunity to teach them about, you know, what racism really is. I mean, if you have the time, you just gonna be like, all right, cool, dude, get this pickup game going. You know, I don't know. Like, if you take the time to educate them on what racism really is, like as if they're gonna hear you or care what you say. But yeah.
Okay. What you think?
I don't know, man.
Now you sound like Kingsley.
Nah, I'm just saying.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. Racism. That's racism.
Wait a minute. Well, how did y'all swap roles? What is going on over here? Huh?
I don't know.
See? Again. This is reverse Kingsleyism. What are you doing?
That was a good one.
Nah, man, I'm just saying. I don't know, but like
again.
Racism.
See? What did you do to him? What did you do? God.
I think I'm just.
This was a marathon. This was a little marathon.
Yeah. All right. Should we end it? We got one more.
Nah, no more.
One more. Me and Casey got it.
I'm gonna be.
Me and Casey got it. One more. Last one. cultural appropriation is an issue?
Oh yeah, across the board for everyone, not just in one particular race. Everyone. I think we all kind of. Now, some of us are all kind of in that boat of like, okay, yeah, I'm do this, do that. I think it's an issue across the board for everyone. I think we all need to. Some of us all need to be checked and just be reminded that is appropriation. It's not just a white thing. It's not just a, whatever the hell I do for Cinco de Mayo, wearing a hat, whatever. Making sure I don't dress a certain way in Halloween. So yeah, I think it's just something that just needs to be just reminded across all races.
Reminded that what?
Just be mindful of it. Just be mindful of it. I think sometimes I don't know, maybe we're focusing on it. Just okay, a white person do it or something like that. But I think there's times where you mess around and do something and be like, wow, that's cultural appropriation. What you doing? So my stance on that is just I think everyone needs to be checked on it or reminded. If we're not doing it, just continually be reminded that hey, you can't do that. That's my thing.
It's on me?
Yeah, it's on you.
I like what you're saying. The only thing that I would say though, instead of being reminded, I think that people, excuse me, I think that people need to be educated.
I knew you was gonna say that
because well, if you knew, you didn't say it.
Because I was saying it in my head.
But I think that people need to be educated because we don't necessarily know everything that is cultural appropriation. Hear me out. If I have a 6-year-old child, say my child, right? No, I don't have a 6-year-old. But let's say I have a 6-year-old child and my child wants to be an Indian chief for Halloween. Where do I draw this line for cultural appropriation? If, I go on vacation for business and while I'm in Japan, I see a nice kimono dress that I think will look good on my woman and I bring it back home to her for a gift and we wear it out to dinner. Somebody sees that who happens to be of the Japanese ethnic background, right? They may look at her and be like, "Oh, that's cultural appropriation." But like, I didn't know the history of that dress and what that meant, and
right.
So like, I think we need to be educated before. And on top of all of that, we all kind of sensitive. Like the world is really fucking sensitive right now, So I'm not saying that we don't need to pull the reins back on cultural appropriation. What I'm saying is we need to have a better understanding of what it is. And we have to not even draw lines, but we have to make clear definitions between how it is, what it is, why it is, and quit going for people's necks on things and educate them. And that's across the board. Because just like you said, a lot of people, and especially because we are black, we're looking at it from our viewpoint, right? No blackface. This kind of thing, right? Don't come in here, white girl wearing an afro or wearing braids or whatever. That's cultural appropriation and, whatever. And I understand it, right? But we're only looking at it from that standpoint because that National Football League, nobody really had a problem until recently about the Washington Redskins. Nobody was really saying too much about the Cleveland Indians. You know what I'm saying? So
I thought the argument was always there. It just no.
Why didn't they do something about it? If it was, why did it take 2020 Black Lives Matter and a global pandemic for people to sit down and pay attention and be like, oh, we got to fix this, or we got to change this? I'm not saying that they shouldn't do it. I'm all for looking out for the feelings of people, but what I'm saying is people aren't educated. You know what I'm saying? Like people just aren't educated. Some people aren't educated enough to know that this particular slang, like the idea of like a child dressing up as an Indian for Halloween and putting red, paint on their face, that this is offensive. They just know they saw it on the cartoon and they want to be this character that they saw, or it was on the cover of their coloring book, and they're like, "Oh, mommy, I want to be this." And if the mama ain't educated and the dad ain't educated to understand what it is, they're like, oh, he just wants to be the character from the, and boom. And then now you got somebody outside that sees it and it's like, ooh. So I just think across the board, we need to be educated. But that's a lot of education, because now it comes to y'all, because then it's got to go back to the schools and how we educate people about history and the understanding and what's being put out there, because evidently even the parents don't know and they were poorly taught. Right. So where does it start? You know?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it starts home, school, family, community. You got to just teach. Each one teach one.
Yeah, but I mean, it's got to start somewhere. It can't start at home if everybody at home ain't educated. Like, how it's going to start at home if they don't know? How you going to teach me and you don't know that it's wrong, that you know what I'm saying, that you need to teach? You don't know where to. So we have to find a ground where it's going.
Can't put that onus on schools, man.
In schools, do they teach about history? The onus is on schools. Not 100%, but it's there.
When you asked the question just now, I was thinking schools teaching cultural appropriation. Like,
no,
you're talking about
what I'm saying is, like, when I learned about history in school, maybe I'm wrong, and I apologize to my teachers that I sat through or whatever in those years. But I don't ever remember somebody telling me that it's wrong to look at an Indian person and whatever, if you're referencing like the red skin. Like these things or whatever. I didn't know this. Right. I knew that's how they looked in the pictures. Right. I knew that's what paintings look like, but I didn't know that was an offensive depiction of them.
Right. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And what I'm saying is, if you're teaching it in the schools, teach the whole thing. You see what I'm saying? Say that. I always say that. Be like, yo, if you're going to quote me, say everything. Right. Teach the whole thing. But when you go in there and you half-ass it, then we get half the information, and then we get out there and we culturally appropriate, or we misunderstand, or we don't understand, or we're just plain damn ignorant. Right. So, yeah, it is a part of the school's responsibility to teach. If you don't want to teach about history, remove the course from your curriculum. But don't come in there with history and then teach me a little bit, or teach me what it is that you want me to know. And by you, I don't mean the teachers. I mean the people that develop the curriculum for the districts and the countries and whatever. Yeah,
mind you, I was thinking that you were saying teaching cultural appropriation. That's why I was just like, most of them schools ain't gonna do that. Teaching cultural appropriation, because they state test.
Agreed.
Is that on a state test?
Agreed.
Nope.
Agreed.
Right. They gotta teach growth mindset.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm not ashamed to tell this story. I was, I had a class full of 6th graders. I said Indian. She was like, Native American.
See?
And I was like, you know what? Okay. So I ain't,
but even some Native Americans don't want to be called Native Americans.
What?
See? That's what I'm talking about.
Why?
That's what I'm talking about. Because you remember, when they went there, they thought that the country was India.
Yeah.
That's why they call them Indians.
Yeah.
It wasn't America. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So why wouldn't they want to be called Native Americans? Because it wasn't America.
They were there first, and it wasn't America.
Got you.
You get what I'm saying?
Wait, what?
If you existed somewhere, like before I got there, right? Let's call it Haiti, right? You're in Haiti. I arrive at Haiti with my crews and my ships, and I'm like, yo, we here. Let's trade some stuff, and we get into it. We colonize, we settle, and we're like, you know what? We're gonna call this place Miancore.
Right.
And guess what? Y'all are gonna be the native Miancoreans. You'd be like, wait a minute, we was Haitian. Like, how do you get to just change? It's like, oh, because we've colonized you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm confused at the point. Go ahead, keep going.
Because it wasn't America before they came over and colonized it. So to call them Native Americans is a slap.
I didn't know that. Okay. I didn't know that. No, I didn't know calling them Native Americans was offensive.
Some of them do find it offensive, because they're like, that wasn't America. That wasn't what this was. Where did the American name come from? See? That's what I'm talking about. But you see what I mean, all right?
Right.
How you gonna call me something? I was there before you. How you got the nerve to come in and rename what I am? The fuck?
But native would mean that that's your home.
But it's not American.
It's not American.
It
It
wasn't
called America. So what are you
Right.
native to?
Got you.
You native to the land that it was originally. You're not
Correct.
native to America.
Yo, listen, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. To my immediate left is the brother Kingsley. Across the couch is my man Mel.
Sleepy.
I am Omega, and this is Diverse Clarity. This is where we have those thought-provoking conversations about things that matter and some that don't. We'll catch you next episode.